Hello, dear students. This is Professor Amar Bagodi, and today we are going to start with the third module for your hydrology and irrigation engineering subject, that is hydrographs. Okay, so in the previous two modules, what we have studied is, so in the first module we have checked out with respect to the water resources of the world of our country. Apart from that, basically there we have studied how the rainfall occurs and what are the various ways of representing that particular data, as well as we have seen some of the calculations of that particular rainfall. So first module was consisting of all the aspects with respect to the rainfall, yeah, and its measurement, right? So basically this rainfall and its measurement, right now what I'm saying, so practically how that rainfall will be collected and how that will be converted into the mean precipitation over an area with various methodologies that we have studied in the first module. Okay, similarly in the second module we have checked out with respect to the losses. Okay, so if I show that losses with the red color, so that losses will basically include three things. One is your evaporation, yeah. Second one is evapotranspiration, that is through plants. And third one is your infiltration, yeah. So these three things together basically have formed out regarding the losses. Okay, so this second module was entirely means describing the losses from the rainfall. Okay, so this I can write it as loss. Okay, now the third module which is there is going to completely dedicate itself towards the runoff. Okay, it is going to have all the details of a runoff. So whenever I say runoff, what this particular runoff indicates, it is basically your amount of rainfall that has occurred minus the amount of losses that we have studied in the second module. So this particular difference itself is going to be coming under the runoff module. Okay, so our entire third module is dependent on this runoff. Okay, so even the syllabus is framed in such a way that it is going to give us a proper relation, or else there is a proper interrelationship between the modules that we are going to have over here. Okay, so now let us check out the syllabus for the third module. Module 3. First bit is regarding the runoff, as I have explained. Okay, so we have definition, concept of a catchment. Okay, factors affecting the runoff. So runoff rainfall, rainfall runoff relationship using the regression analysis. So basically in this what we are going to study is again this is like a basics of before we go into this hydrographs topic. Okay, so what do you mean by runoff, the definition? So concept of catchment is basically what are the different types of catchments that we have, and how that particular shape, size, as well as the characteristics of that catchment is going to vary the runoff parameter. So those things are going to be considered in the first part of it. Okay, now the second part of it will be hydrographs. Okay, so hydrographs are nothing but these are the graphs or particular figures that have been drawn based on the data that has been collected with the runoff. Okay, so statistically whatever the runoff data we collect, so based on that data collected we can actually draw these hydrographs, and these hydrographs are quite important whenever it comes to your practical applications. Okay, so here we have definitions, components of a hydrograph, base flow separation. So base flow separation indicates what? Your removal of or else segregation of your losses from the rainfall. So even that can be taken out as base flow separation. So here usually base flow separation we call it as infiltration. Okay, so if you have again the rainfall that is occurring, and whatever the amount of loss that needs to be there or else that have occurred, so that again can be deducted. There are a few methods with which we can do that, so that will be studied in this base flow separation. Okay, next we have unit hydrograph. So this particular unit hydrograph is going to play a major role. Okay, so for any of the practical applications, and why I am stressing on this hydrograph and the third module is because most of the these practical applications you see it day to day. Okay, so you don't know the what I can say technicality behind those particular things, but basically you can see the practical applications over here. So I'll just explain at the end of this syllabus discussion. Okay, so that unit hydrograph, I'll just explain what that is. Then we have assumptions for this unit hydrograph, then applications and limitations of hydrographs, then derivation from a simple storm hydrograph to unit hydrograph. Okay, so that we have. Then we have S curve and its computations. So that is again, this is a part of unit hydrograph, what I can say. Then conversion of unit hydrograph of different durations. Okay, so here we'll get the problems on hydrographs. Okay, so now to just brief you about what the importance of this hydrographs is. Basically, you might have seen in the rainy season. So basically, even in Belgaum right now in district for the last 2 years, if you check out, in the rainy seasons we get these flood warnings, right? So this much cusecs of water is being released from so and so dam, and so that's why these particular villages are to be emptied, or else specific areas are to be emptied. So how basically they decide on when the flooding is going to come? Okay, so even if you check out the newspaper or news channels, any of the basic sources, here Indian Meteorological Department can actually predict when the flooding may occur and at which place it is going to occur, and even they'll tell you what time to time it is going to occur. Okay, so the basis for all such kind of calculations or computations is basically your hydrograph. Okay, so with this hydrographs, what you can do is, in simplest of term, imagine this as your catchment area. Okay, and you draw a catch. This particular hydrograph will be looking like something like this. Okay, if you draw a hydrograph, sorry, if I just yeah, so this is just in detail will just go, but to explain that significance, imagining having this particular catchment area, and because this is the hydrograph that has been drawn based on the runoff data that has been collected from this particular catchment area. Okay, so how to do that, all those things we'll just see in a minute, but imagining this. Okay, what actually this give you is, on the x-axis will be having time. Okay, and on the y-axis will be having the flow in terms of cubic meter per second. So at that point of time, what will happen is, here you can check out from when the what I can say flooding may start, or when the runoff may start, till what time it is going to be there, and basically this top portion that is visible over here in the hydrographs, right? So this top portion itself will be having the flooding actions. Okay, so this is the peak discharge, what we call it. Okay, and this peak discharge itself, based on the condition of that particular area, may cause the flooding. Okay, so basically what you can do is, if this is the zero time, then you can actually tell at what duration the flooding may occur. Okay, and again here, if you check out this y coordinate, if you just get it over here, so even you can come to know the what will be the flow of flooding, or else how much quantum of water is going to be flowing there whenever we are calling it as a flood. So even such kind of statistics are easily available with the help of hydrographs. Okay, now this hydrograph is basically, as I told you, it is quite important, and it actually gives you a lot of practical applications. The news channels, Indian Meteorological Department, regarding all the hydrological aspects, whatever they predict, 90% of the things will be based on the hydrograph itself. Okay, apart from that, if you check out this unit hydrograph which is there. Okay, so this unit hydrograph, what we do is, we try to convert this storm hydrograph or regular hydrograph into a unit hydrograph. Okay, why do we need to do that? We'll go in detail, but for now, to understand, imagine that this unit hydrograph is a generalized hydrograph. Okay, so instead of preparing this hydrograph every time whenever the rainfall occurs, so what you can do is, for a catchment you can have one type of hydrograph. Okay, the same hydrograph you can use in the coming years. In the n number of times you can basically use the same hydrograph by converting it into unit hydrograph. Okay, and it actually lets you modify. Okay, so whatever this conversion of unit hydrographs of different duration, last part which is there, right? So the problems that we are going to solve here, you can actually predict just by, say, measuring the duration of rainfall. That is, imagine if you have let us say 8 hour of rainfall, so automatically you can basically get the amount of flooding that is going to occur if the rainfall duration has varied, whether it is 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, and so forth. So basically what this unit hydrograph will make you do is, basically if you know the effect of 8 hour rainfall, you can convert that into any duration. Okay, so whether that rainfall is varying from just zero point 0.1 hour till 100 hours or more than that. Okay, this is just a number. So till any hours, if the rainfall is occurring, basically you can convert a specific known value into these unknown duration values. So that will help us to predict these kind of floods, as well as it will help us to prevent the flood, because it will immediately tell you if there is any risk of having these floods, and we can take some precautionary measures. So with that, basically we can predict even the floods. So basis for all these aspects are nothing but the hydrographs that you are going to study. Okay, so this is the entire syllabus for the third module that we have. One more thing to note down. So initially for this, what we'll do is, we'll go ahead with the hydrograph section first. Okay, so we'll complete these definition, components of hydrograph, base flow separation, unit hydrograph, assumptions, applications and limitations, derivations, as well as these particular problems on the same. Okay, so once we complete this particular section, then I'll come for the definition and the concept of catchment, factors affecting runoff, rainfall runoff relationship using regression analysis. Okay, so since this is containing more weightage, okay, and even from the point of your examination, so these particular hydrographs are going to have the major percentage of marks for that particular aspect. Okay, so that's why we'll complete this first, then we'll go for the runoff. Hydrograph. Okay, so this particular figure, what you are basically seeing over here, is nothing but the figure of a hydrograph. Okay, so first let us just read out this theory first, and then I'll discuss with you regarding how to generate this particular hydrograph. Okay, hydrograph is an output or a response of a catchment to a short uniform rainfall. It is also known as storm hydrograph or flood hydrograph. Okay, so if you want to define the hydrograph, it is basically an output or a response of a catchment to a short uniform rainfall which is going to be there. Okay, and the same hydrograph can also be called as storm hydrograph or flood hydrograph. So all the three are going to mean the same thing. Okay, next, it is the variation of runoff, that is discharge, measured at a stream gauging station with the duration, that is time, as shown in the figure above, as a result of an isolated storm of a duration Tr and uniform precipitation P. What they say is, so basically what, in the x-axis you have time and in the y-axis you have discharge. Okay, so what they say is, it is the variation of a runoff or a discharge measured at a stream gauging station with the duration time as shown in the figure. Okay, so what will happen as and when the time duration increases, how the variation of discharge is going to be there for a specific catchment area. So based on that, your hydrograph is going to be drawn. So here they have said the duration of storm is TR. So in the previous slide, as I was explaining, if you have 8 hours of rainfall, you can convert that into any hour, right? So that 8 hours, what I was talking about is nothing but the duration of the rainfall, right? So that duration in general they are nomenclating as TR. Okay, and the uniform precipitation, that is the amount of precipitation that is occurring, is going to be indicated with P. Okay, it consists of the following three characteristic regions. Okay, so what this particular three things are going to be: first is the rising limb AB, that is this part to this part. So this is nothing but what we call it as a rising limb. Okay, so A is nothing but the starting point of a hydrograph, and B is nothing but a point of inflation. So point of inflation is nothing but what, at this point basically what will happen is, whenever this particular section is there, right? So whenever it wants to do like this, okay, so at this B junction, if I try to zoom it in, basically what will happen, at this section, so it will be something like this. That is, it will be like concave. Okay, so from this point B, the concave nature is going to be converted into convex nature. Okay, so at this junction B is nothing but the concave nature of this graph will be converted into the convex nature. Okay, so the junction at which this particular transition is going to happen, so that the point we are going to call it as the end of a rising limb. That point is going to be B. Okay, similarly the crest segment BC, that is nothing but this top segment. Okay, so portion between the 2 points of inflation B and C, because again once it comes back down, okay, so again from this C point which is there, so this is B and this is C. Okay, so from again this convex thing, again it is going to be converted back into a concave. Okay, so again this junction or part is going to be what, your C point, which is going to be there. So this is how you can basically identify that particular point. Okay, now the last part of that is going to be falling limb or depletion curve CD. So that is nothing but the last portion what we have. Okay, so D is nothing but the last point in that particular hydrograph. Okay, now in this basically with this brief explanation, which theoretically what is being written over there, now if I try to explain it to you how the hydrograph is drawn. Okay, just check this out. Let us take uh, this as the catchment area. Okay, so whenever I say catchment area, okay, try to understand this aspect first. Whenever we practically say catchment area, okay, so even Belgaum is a catchment area, right? So ultimately what will happen, so surrounding this, if I need to say, if this is a catchment area, right, so always the edge of this catchment area will be your hills or peak or a higher elevation points. Okay, so surrounding that you may have a few more what I can say catchment areas. For example, like this, you may have one catchment area like this. Yeah, so you may have one catchment area like this. Yeah, so you may have one catchment area like this. So you can have n number of catchment areas beside one and another. Okay, so how you actually differentiate one catchment area with respect to the other is based on this ridge line, what we call it. Okay, so this ridge line is nothing but what, it is the points of highest RL that we are going to have. Okay, hence, basically what these ridge lines or these highest elevation points that we have, so obviously what it indicates, if I consider this as my catchment area, okay, and at that point of time what will happen, whatever the slope of this particular catchment is going to be, so it will be on this particular downward stride. Okay, so it will not be in the opposite direction, because already we know I'll just draw this. Okay, already we know. Yeah, so this is nothing but a catchment area, right? So this is nothing but a catchment area that we have. So these are nothing but, this is how the slope of that land is going to be, because these will be the point of highest RL, or else the ridges of that catchment area, how it is going to be. Okay, and ideally speaking, imagine, so since the slope will be towards the inner side of the catchment area, typically you just imagine this, imagine this as one of the river that is flowing. Okay, one of the nala or one of the river that is flowing at the center of this particular catchment area. Okay, because since this particular slope is towards the center, we may have a lower elevation at the center itself, right? So based on that, lower elevation is nothing but where your rivers, nalas are going to flow. Okay, so having that in mind, so imagine it may have some tributaries. Okay, so based on the means the ground characteristics, right? So you may have a few things like that. So these are nothing but the tributaries which are collecting the rainfall from the respective areas, and ultimately it is giving it to the central this river. Okay, and that particular flow of water is coming out of this particular catchment area at this point. Okay, at this particular point. So if I just try to highlight that, imagine this is the point at which the what I can say, the entire water or else entire runoff which is going to be generated will of this catchment will be coming out of this catchment area. Okay, so this point is what we call it as stream gauging station. Okay, here what we had written over here, stream gauging station, right? So this point, the point at which the runoff from a particular catchment area is measured, is called as stream gauging point or a stream gauging station. I hope it is clear for you. Okay, so till now what I have explained, basically you can have n number of catchments which are interlinked and which will be beside one and another. Okay, how we say the catchment, how we divide the catchment area from one from the another is based on these ridge lines. Yeah, so these ridge lines are nothing but the usually the points of highest RL. Okay, so this is how basically we divide the areas, right? So having that in mind, then I said since these are of higher elevation, then this particular slope will be towards the center, and that imagining that in the center we have a river, so the water from this entire catchment area will be collected through this river and it will be taken out. So this point at which we are going to take it out, or the point at which the water comes out of this catchment area, is what we call it as stream gauging station. Okay, so this is what I have discussed till now. Okay, now keeping this in mind, now if I try to explain how based on this particular catchment area and this particular characteristics, how this graph has been drawn. Okay, please check this out. So in this, check this out. Imagine that we have a rainfall which is occurring on this particular catchment area. Okay, we have a rainfall that is occurring on this catchment area, and right now what I have told regarding the flow of water in this river. So how the river will flow, basically based on the quantum of rainfall. So if the rainfall is occurring in any point in this catchment area, then what will happen, that catchment area, the runoff that is going to be generated out of that rainfall will be adding to this tributary, and ultimately it will be ending up at the center, right? So at the center it is going to be adding up, and the water from this center main river is going to be flowing out of this catchment area, and this point is nothing but where you are going to measure how much quantity of water is being taken away, or it is being flowing. Okay, so right now don't get confused, whenever I say flow in the river or flow in the stream, or it is nothing but what, your runoff water only. Okay, because when the rainfall occurs in this catchment area, what will happen, initially the soil will absorb that moisture, then the infiltration will start, then if still the rainfall is there, then that particular runoff is going to be there. Okay, so based on that runoff itself, your small streams or tributaries are going to flow with water, and ultimately it is going to join a river, and that will be flowing. So this is what the entire scenario is right now. Okay, now keeping this in mind, how this hydrograph is drawn is basically what you will do is you are going to you have this graph. So on the x-axis you have time, on the y-axis you have the discharge. Okay, so this is nothing but a hydrograph. So if you check out the first module what we have, so that is nothing but a hydrograph. Okay, I'll explain in detail about this, but this in general, if I need to say for now, it is nothing but the rainfall because of which this hydrograph is being formed. Okay, this is indicating the rainfall. Okay, keep that in mind. So this is the rainfall, and because of this rainfall, this is the hydrograph that has been derived. Okay, now keeping this in mind, now if I tell you, okay, imagine, right? So you have what I'll do is imagine I have this yellow colored rainfall. Okay, so imagine this yellow colored section right now what I have drawn as a huge cloud. Okay, so it is going to basically do the precipitation or rainfall. Okay, so whenever it moves towards this particular catchment area, imagine this. Okay, just for the sake of simplicity, here ultimately what I am trying to tell you is on this catchment we want to if the rainfall occurs, what will be happening. So that is what is being discussed right now, and for the explanation of that, imagine that this is nothing but a large cloud which is there. Okay, and this is going to cause the rainfall because of the wind movement. Imagine if this comes over here, what will happen? Now see, as and when it moves near this catchment area. Okay, so the same thing what I'll do, I'll just draw like this. I hope it is visible. Okay, so this yellow colored one right now what I have drawn, imagine the rainfall has started. So at this point of time, if you check out, so only this portion of the catchment area, okay, is being put under the rainfall. Okay, whereas still the other portion is still not having the rainfall, only this small portion. Whenever the movement of cloud or the rainfall is there, so only this small portion of catchment area is having the what I can say rainfall. Okay, at this point of time what will happen, you can check out this tributary or this tributary itself will get the rainfall. Okay, and the runoff. Okay, so only this small portion out of this entire catchment area will be contributing to the runoff at this moment. Okay, I hope you can understand. So in the initial duration of the rainfall, so only a small portion of the catchment area is going to contribute to the runoff that is going to be there in the river. Okay, so at that point of time what will happen, when the rainfall means the runoff will start, and through this, whenever we measure the discharge at this point, because ultimately all this water is going to end up at this point only, right? So based on that, if you check out, so the amount of runoff that is going to be there, or based on the discharge which is going to be there during the initial stages of the rainfall, will be less. Okay, so that less point is nothing but what, your this section. Okay, this is the section. Now similarly, as and when the rainfall continues, imagine it has now covered this portion. Okay, so what it indicates now, imagine that this, sorry, yeah, imagine that now this portion, imagine now this portion of that particular catchment area, that is yellow and green together now. Okay, so this half portion, entire portion of that particular catchment is now contributing towards the runoff. Okay, so these things, both the things are contributing to the runoff. Now you can check out, so because of increase in area, now the runoff will slowly start to increase, right? So as and when the half portion is there, now ultimately all that water is going to again end up at this point. Okay, so that's why now it has started to increase. So you can imagine, as and when the rainfall moves towards this, right, so this is going to continuously start to increase. Okay, now in this next section, imagine again the rainfall has covered 75% of the area. Okay, at that point of time, again you can imagine, so this amount of again this amount of catchment area is again has increased or else has additionally contributed to the runoff. Okay, and because of that, what is happening now? Still the runoff is increasing. Okay, now all the three sections have are contributing to the runoff, so that's why still this now the flow is still increasing. I hope you are getting this point. Okay, now lastly, if I need to tell you, imagine that if I get into the blue color, yeah, so if the entire catchment area right now, if it is covered with your particular rainfall, then what will happen? Imagine, so even the last bit which is pending, okay, so even this part is actually going to what give you the runoff. Okay, now since the entire catchment area has been engulfed by that particular huge cloud what I was talking about, at this point of time what entire catchment is contributing towards the runoff. Okay, and all that runoff is coming at this point, and you are measuring that particular runoff or discharge. So with this what I can say is now, yeah, so this is what is going to be indicating the peak point. Since now you can imagine that if I try to draw that in to simplify for your understanding. So the first yellow part, right? So imagine this has been there only for this. Okay. Next the green part which is there. Imagine that green part is there till this point. Yeah. Then next is your orange part, right? So orange part has contributed to this. I hope you are getting my point. So like that, the blue part which is there, so when all the entire catchment areas are contributing, so that has reached its peak value. Okay, so this is how basically you can do that. Okay, now this particular cloud what I was talking about, as it is moving towards this particular catchment, so again it may move away from the catchment also, right? So at that point of time what will happen, just try to check this out. Here if I show it like this, okay, so this cloud, if it is moving again over here, then what will happen? So the cloud may move like this, it can go in any direction, right? So at this point of time again you can check out the rainfall is now is being fallen on only green, orange and blue color, not this yellow color. So now if I click over here, so yellow colored one is not contributing to the runoff. Okay, so that's why what will happen, the runoff has started to decline. I hope you are getting this, right? So as and when the cloud is moving away, few part of that particular catchment now again which is farthest from the measurement point may not have rainfall at all. So at that point of time again only the three sections will be coming, so that's why it has again gone down. Similarly, as and when it goes again still moves further. Okay, now again you can check out even the green colored one is not contributing to the runoff now. So at that point of time if I delete this, okay, so then what, sorry, then what will happen? Yeah, so even that green colored one, if you check out, if it is not, yeah, so two of the sections have now gone off, so that's why again still the runoff is going to get reduced. Okay, again similarly if the rainfall still moves further even the orange section is going to go off, so again still the runoff is still reducing. I hope you got that, right? So similarly once this entire rainfall has moved out of the way of this catchment area, so again at that point of time even the blue colored one what we have drawn, so even this will stop contributing towards the rainfall. Okay, so at that point of time I can say it will be at its lowest point over here. I hope you got that, right? So basically this is how a hydrograph is drawn from the rainfall for a catchment area. I hope it is clear for you. Okay, so this is how basically the catchment area is being assessed for the rainfall, and this is how basically we can draw the hydrograph. Okay, so now what all things are we going to get with this hydrograph? Just check it out. This particular three sections, as we have already discussed, rising limb, that is AB, already I have told, BC is nothing but the top section or crest section, and then CD is nothing but the declining section. Okay, so this is how basically we draw these particular things. Okay, apart from that, if I need to check out few more things is basically, if you want to know from a particular rainfall, okay, as I have told you, this is the catchment and this is the rainfall which was actually occurring over here. Okay, so based on this, if you check out for this particular rainfall for this catchment, you can actually get what is the peak value of discharge that has been taken place. So if you just take it on the y-axis, and if you check the ordinate over here, it is going to give you how much quantum of water is the maximum runoff that you can get at this point. I hope you got that. Okay, so maximum quantum of discharge can be determined with this particular figure. Along with that, you can get this TP. So TP is nothing but what we call it as time to peak. So TP is indicated by time to peak. So what it indicates, from A point till this P point. Okay, so this A point to T point, P point, which is going to be there. So the time duration for this, that is from the start of the rainfall till it reaches the peak discharge. So that time is nothing but what we call it as peak discharge or time to peak. So that is being indicated by TP. Okay, so for flood prediction, as I was talking about earlier, so with this figure already you will be understanding what is the quantum of maximum flow that is going to be there and at what duration that flow is going to occur. So that can be determined with the help of this hydrograph. Okay, so that is another part. So QP is nothing but the maximum discharge what it is going to have. Okay, then this particular T, it is TB. Okay, so this is nothing but TB. So this is nothing but the base period of the hydrograph. Okay, this is what we call it as base period of hydrograph. So that indicates what, whenever we measure the runoff at this point. Okay, so if a rainfall is occurring, the time at which the runoff start to come out of this and the time at which the runoff stops. Okay, so the time at which the runoff starts and the time at which the runoff stops. So that this particular time duration is nothing but the base period of the hydrograph. So that is indicated by TB. Okay, so now having this in mind, now if I try to explain regarding this particular hydrograph. Okay, so I told you that this is nothing but the rainfall. So this is nothing but a hydrograph. So hydrograph, how you will usually do that? On the y-axis you will have the intensity of rainfall. Yeah, on the x-axis you will have the time. Go and check the first module for more details about this. Okay, so hydrograph, on the y-axis you have intensity, on the x-axis you have the time duration. So keeping this in mind, so P is nothing but the intensity of rainfall that is occurring, and TR is nothing but the duration of rainfall. Okay, TR is nothing but the duration of rainfall. So TR is different, that is duration of rainfall, whereas TB is the duration of the hydrograph that is going to be generated over there. Okay, and this TL, what is there, that is nothing but the time lag, what we call it. So this time lag is actually, it is the time duration between the mid of the rainfall and mid of the hydrograph. Okay, so this point is basically indicating what, it is the center of mass for this hydrograph. Okay, so it will not be symmetric, you will have different higher slope for the uprising limb and lower slope for the declining limb. So that's why you will get an offset point. This indicates the center of mass for this entire hydrograph, and this TL is nothing but the time lag, what we call it, and this is the time lag between the center of mass for the hydrograph and the center of mass of hydrograph. Okay, so the time duration between these 2 points are nothing but the time lag, what we call it. Okay, so this is basically a simple explanation or introduction about how the hydrographs are being drawn over there. Okay, apart from that, just check out this particular definition. Other points of importance, as I told you regarding the peak point, I have told you, time lag TL I have told you, even the base period TB I have expressed over here. Now the hydrograph shown is a typical shape resulting from a storm after the initial losses and infiltration requirements are met. Okay, the hydrograph has a rising limb formed due to the gradual increase in runoff due to the different time of travel for the overland flow from different locations. The discharge reaches the maximum value when the remotest point contributes to the runoff. That is, the entire catchment is contributing to the runoff. Okay, the depletion curve starts after the storm stops, and the remaining water drains out further. The water stored into the depression also contributes during depletion. Okay, so basically how this rises up and how it comes down is being expressed over here. Okay, so with this small explanation, I hope you have understood how a hydrograph is being drawn from the a storm in a catchment area. Okay, and whenever you draw this hydrograph, make sure that you draw this hyetograph also, because please listen to my words carefully. I am calling this graph as hydrograph and this as the hyetograph. Okay, because without the rainfall you cannot show the response of that rainfall over here. So whenever you try to explain a hydrograph, make sure that you add a hyetograph to indicate the rainfall to get the hydrographs over here. Okay, so this is about the introduction about the hydrographs that we have.